Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Awesome Sunday Show. Before we get on with our episode, we'd like to tell you where you can find us.
You can download us on iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn. We're also available on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Awesome Sunday Show. Invite all your friends to like us because that would just be a nice thing to do. Also follow us on Twitter at Awesome Sun Show. And if you want to follow our personal Twitters, I'm Rick Pat Mick.
And I'm at Lesson Connor.
Thanks for listening. Enjoy the episode.
Yeah, guys, enjoy.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hey everybody, welcome to Awesome Sunday Show. Connor here.
I'm Pat.
Pat, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Pat, you know what time it is?
Game time.
It is game time.
Actually, no, because the games are over.
Yeah, they are over.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah, seriously. Sorry if you're a Cowboys fan out there.
I'm not sorry. That's your own fault.
But all right, so here's the thing though. Were you at a crossroads here because the Packers did beat the Giants in the wild card game? But Dallas, I can't stand them.
I can't stand Dallas, and I've always respected the Packers, so I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, my go-to is the Giants, but I can respect
'Cause this is a game
the Packers
where-
because Aaron Rodgers is a goddamn baller.
It's true. I respect Aaron
and
Rodgers.
The Cowboys, I feel like whoever they would have played, I still would have rooted for the Packers anyway.
All right, that's fair enough. I was kind of at a crossroads this year just because it was such a bad loss in the wild card game, but we did beat the Cowboys 2 times this season, twice. Giants beat the Cowboys. All right, so anyway, everybody, this is Awesome Sunday Show. Here we talk about comic books, movies, video games, and television shows. All sorts of entertainment, for all you lovely people that like to listen to us. We just got out of the movie theaters, and we saw the movie Silence.
Well, before we get into that, big announcement, we now officially have stickers. So if you would like one, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah. Hit us up. We would love to give you out stickers. We're probably going to start putting random places. Our good pal, Nick Snyder, said he's going to put them around Brave New World for us, which is a clothing store in New Jersey. So anyway, yeah. We got out of the movie Silence tonight, and I think we have some varying opinions about the movie itself.
I actually think I'm in the minority of the people that will be speaking on this podcast.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, so before we go on, should we? Is this going to be spoiler heavy or spoiler free?
Oh, we're spoiling it.
We're going to spoil it?
Might as well.
All right, so
I don't
yeah.
like doing spoiler free on this podcast.
Spoiler free is hard to
Weird.
pull off.
It's weird. It's unnatural.
Yeah. So anyway, this is going to be spoiler heavy, but before we go into the movie review, we have 2 surprise guests on the show, Awesome Sunday Show regulars. So introduce yourselves, very special guests, and tell us a little about yourselves. If this is the first time someone's listening to your voice.
Hello, my name is Justin. I'm on this show. I'm glad to be back on this show. I'm an educator of America, teaching your children's youth. And yeah, we're here.
Hi, I'm Damian. I've been on the show about, almost 10 times. I think I'm over double digits right now.
Yeah.
Really? I'm going to have to double check that and then delete all those episodes.
Oh, fuck. I'm a retail employee in 2 stores. It fucking sucks. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Is that why you hang out with us?
Yeah, because I need to make myself feel better.
No, because he's desperate for friends.
Well, that too.
That's
But
probably
You don't
it.
have to bring that up. No, the podcast anyway. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Fun fact: Damien lives down the street from me.
Yeah, I do,
Yeah.
actually. And it's kind of shitty because
Yeah.
I see your face more than I want to.
It's all right. I see you walking your dog and mowing your lawn. It's just like, why is that kid alive?
And through the window.
It's like, wow, what if through the wind? You fucking. All right.
You think I'm kidding? He has a diary of everything you do throughout the day.
If I were to sit on my roof, Damien, do you think I could see your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could.
So I could snipe you.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could try, but you're not going to succeed. So there's that.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Silence, everybody. Silence is a very it's an interesting movie. It's one of those movies. There's a story behind the story being told. It apparently it took Martin Scorsese like 20 something years or
30.
whatever, 30 to make
Over
this.
30.
Yeah, he's always wanted to make this movie. I guess I don't know why he couldn't make it.
Because Andrew Garfield wasn't born yet.
That's probably it.
Well, it's because at first he couldn't afford to get it made. Nobody would finance it. Then when he wanted to, something better that he can get quick financing for came up. And then he couldn't get a script right, this, that, and the other thing. It was like the same thing every year.
Yeah, it was kind of like what George Miller went through with Mad Max Fury Road. There was just always something in the way. Yeah, which is that's another story behind that. But anyway, so it took him a long time to make this movie, and you know there was a lot of hype around this movie coming out, especially among like cinephiles and you know the award season movies, like the people that like that hunt those movies down to watch them. So right now, this movie has a critic score on Rotten Tomatoes of 84%. And some people are saying it's probably a candidate to be nominated for Best Picture, possibly, maybe Best Director for Martin Scorsese. There's definitely some buzz around this movie. So let's talk about it, guys. And since you guys are the very special guests on Awesome Sunday Show, very special guests go first. Right now, we will get into spoilers, but just give us kind of like a spoiler-free like synopsis of like, just what you thought of it. A summary.
Ladies first, Damian.
Oh, thanks. So you want me just okay? So Silence is about
Also, we'll save it for the end. I'm sorry. Never mind. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. So Silence is about two Jesuit priests who go travel to Japan and to search for Liam Neeson's character, which is Ferreira, Father Ferreira, and you know all the obstacles that go in between that, while still trying to push Christianity into the country of Japan.
All right.
I mean, that's
Good job reading that off the IMDb, man.
actually it says.
I wanted to know like a summary of what you thought.
Yeah, you missed the question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Jesus, you let these kid on.
Well, just in case you didn't know what the movie was, that's
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
So you want me? Okay. All right.
Just a quick rundown of what you
I love how Damien embarrassed himself. We're not going to edit it out, and we're going to upload it.
No, that's fine. No, go ahead. I thought you said a synopsis of the movie, so
A
I didn't-
synopsis
you felt.
of what
Oh,
how
I
you
didn't hear
felt.
that part. I apologize.
Well, pay attention. It's my fucking show and his show too.
See? All right. So, anyway, I liked the movie a lot, personally. I thought the acting was great. Incredible, actually. Cinematography was awesome. The music, the score. I mean, yes, it has some flaws, but I mean, overall, I think the movie was good. Very good. That good? That better?
Yeah, that was a
answer the
legit
question.
that was a legit answer. All
An
right,
asshole.
J Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Martin Scorsese's films. Like, they are very interesting. I like this one because it was unique and different. But the acting is definitely what drew me in. Every individual actor, even the Japanese actors that I don't know who the hell they are, but like they were really good. I thought I already know that Andrew Garfield is a fantastic actor, and I thought this really was a breakthrough role for him. Like, I think this is going to probably boost him up into more of a superstardom like actor role in Hollywood, and it's rightfully so deserved. And I did like it. Very long, but like most Scorsese films, they are long. So I mean, it was really good. I liked it.
I want you to last.
Okay.
I really like the film. It definitely has some flaws, like from holding it back from being great.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I'm gonna get what I just want to get like the flaws out of the way first that I thought, and then obviously we go into more detail later. I thought it was way too long, and it sucks because I don't have something. I know I complain about it a lot on the show, and speaking to the audience, but I don't mind long movies. Lawrence of Arabia is one of the best movies I ever saw in my life. That movie's almost 4 hours.
It's a long movie.
Yeah, so it's Gone with the Wind. Like a movie can be long, and it's fine as long as the story is interesting. Apparently, unfortunately, parts do drag in this movie. It also went into a direction storytelling wise, so I guess this comes down to taste. What I'm about to say that I kind of was not a fan of. I thought if they went in more of a different direction, it would have been more interesting because they bring in these characters that are interesting, and then we just never, like, almost never see them again. And we do, it's like far away, or like we hear, like, it was just kind of annoying. But besides that, the positives are great. Andrew Garfield gave a great performance, I thought. So did Liam Neeson, so did Adam Driver. All the performances across the board, in my opinion, I really liked. Also, too, I thought the beginning of the movie was incredibly strong. Really a solid opening beginning. And then also the cinematography was incredible. The shots, Japan was amazing to look at. The set design was impeccable. It felt like Japan in the 1600s. If you know, I took one Japanese history class, so I feel like I'm an expert. You know.
Well, you are. So that's
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. It's just again, there are some flaws. It might the flaws actually might push people away from the movie, but it didn't do it for me. And I really liked it.
Of the minority of this group, I think the movie was okay. The performances were great. There was one character that I really did not like at all, but Garfield was great. Adam Driver was great, and the Japanese villagers were excellent. Most of them. Yeah. But the movie itself, I think, was okay. Shot very nice, but it was only okay. And anybody who says this is Scorsese's best film, I strongly, severely disagree.
Yeah, I'm with you at that last part. I don't think it's I don't even think it's one of his top 10 movies ever.
Definitely not.
And then AFI, the American Film Institute, put in the top 10 movies of the year.
Nope.
I don't agree with that at all. Like,
I don't either.
I know these are two totally different movies, but like I thought Deadpool was better than this movie. To be completely honest with you, I know that's like way out of left field, and
That is weird.
yeah, and they're two totally different movies. But if you're gonna compare movies, like, but with the but just the only line is that if it comes out this year or 2016, then I'm gonna compare every movie.
Sure.
So
Yeah. People don't remember like that. Like Deadpool came out in the beginning of last year.
yeah,
it
did. But yeah.
Cool.
So let's dive into the movie a little bit more.
Sure.
Let's break it down. So this is going to be where it's super spoilery.
Your friend.
Nah, your friend. Actually, Dentino's.
So, yeah.
so-
Do you want to?
Let's just let's start from the beginning. So the film opens up with three priests talking about Father Ferreira, a fellow priest and a mentor of Father, or as they say, Padre, because they're Spanish.
Padre.
Padre Rodriguez. I can't do a Spanish accent.
Yeah, Rodriguez,
Padre
and what was
Rodriguez.
Driver's character's name?
Padre
Guerrero?
Garupe.
Garupe.
Garupe, yes.
Garupe.
What a name.
Garupe. And so the conversation among the three is that Father Ferreira renounced his faith and is now living amongst the Japanese, and even has a wife and kid. And they don't believe it. They think it's rumor, like 100%. So because they can't fathom in their mind that their mentor was able to switch like right away. But right before that, we see a scene of the Christian missionaries getting tortured, and Liam Neeson's character, Father Ferreira. I'm going to mess up these names, so I apologize.
Ferreira. Guerrero.
Yeah, Saul Guerrera.
Saul Guerrero.
He witnesses torturing of these Christian missionaries. So right away the movie starts off on a strong note because it already leaves you. It makes you interested already in the story because it leaves off kind of leaving you hanging on how Liam Neeson's character felt, and then now you're jumping right away into him renouncing his faith. So there's a huge gap in the story missing, and it's like they have to try to find out what's going on while leading these other Christians in this country. So I thought that aspect of the film was great, and that's really what the first hour of the movie's goal was, in my opinion. Now, it does kind of detract from that tiny bit and then comes back. But there's also a grand story to tell. So I don't know. Yeah, and that's also another criticism I have is that I thought the movie was a little too long. They could have cut out like 30, 40 minutes.
I agree.
Yeah.
The movie was definitely too long.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 hours.
I gotta say one thing though. I never had to pee so bad in my life than like right in the half-hour mark into that movie, and I held it in the whole time. The whole time.
Well, you had to.
Yeah.
Because everything seemed important.
So, but I would like to know, what you guys thought of like the first hour of the movie. Like, so, like, what did you like? So, what did you think was the strongest part of like that first act?
Honestly, like, I feel like besides the acting, obviously, but I really want to point out like the cinematography and of the whole, like, you know, how it was filmed, like the different like angles that it was filmed at, like where, like with how they were filming from, like because it's obviously everyone knows Japan is an island. The ways in which they traveled, you know, was by boat. I thought, I don't know if you remembered it, but there was a part in which they filmed from the top and you could see like the ship. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I thought that was really, really cool. Would have been cool to see like stuff like that more often. I really as a whole, I just think, like, you know how like some movies it's just like, oh yeah, like, yeah, we are in like Portugal or Spain or whatever they came from, and there they are in Japan. Like, it's like literally like, you know, the time, instantaneous, and how they travel from one place to the other in literally like minutes. That's how I felt that happened. You know, like you didn't see like a journey, which, you know what, I feel like it would have made more sense if they filmed like somewhat of a journey to getting to Japan as opposed to
Just being there.
Yeah, and cutting out other things probably would have been more useful. But you know what, everybody has their own vision. I understand that, but as a whole, like of that whole first act, like Connor said, it was very strong, very powerful. It set the tone for the movie for sure. I do believe, again, it was a very long film. I think it's like one of those movies where like it brought you there, like to that roller coaster, like you're going to the tippy top very, very slowly, but and then like you go down, you're anticipating that dope drop. It's just not as dope.
It's just like kind of like those drops that just, you know, curve.
Yeah, like shitty drops.
Curves you.
Yeah, like it's not a nitro drop. It's like more like a Batman drop, you know? No, yeah, exactly. And whatever, not a big deal. But I really liked how the character development started in the beginning with Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver. It was really strong. How they, you know, related to the Japanese villagers when they got there with the whole Christianity and faith and restoring the faith in the villagers there, giving them hope, so on and so forth. I thought that was really cool. I liked it. I liked the first half of the movie a lot.
I liked it a lot more than the second half. Yeah, I agree.
A lot more.
The first half with the, I think, pretty much every scene with both villages in it, were just, you know, was
cool.
And
Yeah.
then I like the scene with the when they go out for the first time, and then
that was cool.
They see the two
the
two guards. I would guess they are, just staring at them. You know, builds the intensity there. And then
that was intense, yeah.
And then being in like the little basement, well, not really basement,
like the crawl space hideout place, yeah.
Yeah, in the shack.
It was definitely, I like that. It was definitely cool.
And then the scene where the three villagers died, when they're like getting hit with the waves.
Yeah, the believers, the Christian believers.
Yeah. They, I mean, it was they were crucified. Technically,
yeah.
But also they were drowning at the same time. It was brutal. There, you know, there's a lot of people. I think, and including myself, I was going into this movie thinking there was going to be like a lot of violence.
I didn't think so.
I did not have that.
I didn't either.
See, now, like, if
I would have expected maybe a few more heads getting chopped off for sure.
Whenever you hear about like a movie that involves like any type of religious persecution, I just expect like heads.
And it is Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, it is Martin Scorsese. Now, it's not saying there isn't some graphic violence in this movie.
There is,
but it's not a lot.
Yeah.
There's
like three scenes where you're like, whoa.
And they were good. They weren't like spectacular, but they were definitely good. Like,
yeah,
I would have liked to see more. it
That's
would have
kinda
been.
fucked up to say, see more violence, more.
Yeah, I
violence.
mean, hey,
But
You're a
it's-
sick individual, man.
well, you know what? Sometimes
But-
what I paid for, I want to be
Yeah,
entertained.
yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying.
whatever.
Like, it's a little more entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly, man. I felt entertained, and I'm not gonna lie, that first half of the movie was awesome. There was I don't know, Pat sat next to me. There was a solid second where I dozed off for a little bit.
Solid second. You
I
fell
was-
asleep for probably 30 minutes.
No, it wasn't 30.
You fell asleep during the
it
movie?
was like
Justin,
10.
I could
it
hear
was
you
10.
snoring for at least 30
All right,
minutes.
listen. It was like
Unless you fell asleep
maybe
twice.
no. It was like.
But the
all
thing
right,
you gotta
fine.
know is
If
Justin
it-
always falls asleep in movies.
Okay, you know
his
what? I gotta
go-to.
say, I expected the movies to be this film to be a little bit more packed, and it wasn't. And I was lucky enough to have one of those recliner seats where the person that's supposed to sit next to me wasn't there. So my genius idea was to open the other recliner next to me, and I made not a recliner seat but a recliner bed, and it was fucking fantastic. It was really nice.
That sounds really comfortable.
It was, and I fell asleep, and it was my fault. I did it to myself, but you know what? Clearly, I didn't miss too much because the part that I missed was not when he got captured, but when he was like in the beginning of just being in that prison, and I was like, that was a
that
long,
kinda dragged
that was a
out.
long time. So
That
it's like I
took
feel
way
like
too
I didn't
long.
miss much.
Yeah.
See, I think that the first part of the movie, I don't even know if it would encapsulate the whole hour, but up until Garfield and Adam Driver's characters decide to leave after experiencing one village, and then Garfield going to the other one and coming back. Like after that and the crucifixion, quote unquote, scenes, when they decided to split up is where the movie went downhill for me. Not that it got terrible, it just started, dragging its feet through the mud. A lot of scenes went on way too long, were unnecessary, or just bored me. Like there got to a point in the movie where I just wanted it to end. And like I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I noticed a lot of people get up and leave and not come back. In our theater.
I did not because I was
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah, I know. But no, yeah, it did. And I don't know. I just think that it was very slow. While the performances didn't decrease at all, the quality, I think Garfield got better and better.
I think Garfield just got better and better throughout the movie.
But
Yeah.
I think it's just because he was so good in some scenes that, and like the scenes that he was really good in were few and far in between because a lot of them were too slow, and he just had to stand there doing nothing or just being breathless. I was severely disappointed with how little Adam Driver was in the movie
Yeah.
I agree.
because
That was disappointing.
I actually wanted to see more of his character because his priest was, when the first village, when members of that village are asking what they should do when the executioner comes back and they have to, step on that image of Jesus, like what do they do? And Garfield is like trample it because he's saying that with knowing that God would forgive them.
Yeah.
But Adam Driver goes, no, you must be brave. You must not do it no matter what. Whether you're going to be killed, whether they're going to be killed, it doesn't matter.
I think he says pray for courage or something like
Pray
that.
for
pray
courage.
for
All right, but
courage.
he's still saying, like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
No, go ahead.
no. I mean, like that would have been cool to see the conflict between the two of them. You know what I mean? Like how they
Yeah.
approach things, and you didn't really see that a lot.
And I wanted to see, like, how Garfield, Adam Driver's, the village he went to, how his time there was, how his capture was like, what his experiences
Yeah,
were
that would've been
led to
cool.
him dying heroically trying to save that one
That would have
villager.
been cool.
While Garfield, was still a prisoner, but he was treated nicer than the rest of the prisoners.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
they were also doing that to, like, lull him into a false sense
You
of
know-
security and, like, trying to persuade him.
They also
without
saw
violence.
They also saw if they converted him like to work for them, it was advantageous for them.
Yeah, it was. But I just think that so much of it was so slow, and I think that the one thing I really, really did not like was the executioner. I think that nothing against the actor who played him, but I think he was too cartoonish in the way he spoke, even though if that's his natural voice or whatever, took me out of the seriousness of it because he seemed like an old school, crappy Japanese movie villain.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yes. Which I know, like, he's supposed to be like flamboyant, and he's like, not giving a fuck, doesn't care what you think, like he's doing what he wants. But I just think it took away the seriousness of it from me, and it was.
Pat, you mad that Adam Driver was not in the movie?
See, it was something like that.
Yeah.
I think he was poorly cast in that, and I think that it was another knock I had against the film. That's one of my biggest complaints.
And that's the thing. We were in the car. We were saying I didn't think he sounded cartoony at all. But I will say this: even though I don't see it, I understand where you're coming from because it's hard for it. And like whenever I watch movies of people that like aren't like crazy like we are, and like there's a Japanese person speaking, they tend to laugh. It's hard for someone who's natively Japanese with a Japanese accent to not sound funny when they speak English.
Okay, but the scenes where Adam Driver is presented to each of those governors.
Yeah.
The governor to the executioner's right that was on the left side that was speaking to the translator first, that guy sounded perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying.
Hispanic one, right?
Yeah.
Or, well, what's the one from Spain or something like that, right? Or like
No. He was another one of the governors.
Yeah, he was in that line.
He was one of the Japanese governors.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Not that there isn't like people like not that their dialect can't sound fine depending on the person who it is, but like you understand what I'm saying, that sometimes it's hard for someone, especially from a different language.
It's just the guy's voice and his delivery is what made it. Whether he's struggling to speak English or not, still the tone of his voice is unintimidating and took away from the seriousness of it.
It didn't bother me,
and I felt like the way he was acting and speaking was almost like a parody for him.
Yeah, and the argument that our friend Chris Oleski, shout out to Chris Oleski, by the way, who also saw the movie, he believed that there was a lot of mix-ups between, like, people speaking Japanese and they showed, like, dialogue, like subtitles, and then there was times where they were speaking English, which was obviously... There's nothing wrong with that, but, like, it was just, like, a mix-up, and he would have liked to see more just, like, Japanese dialogue as opposed to like.
Well, I think that's a good point because a lot of it, sometimes it went them showing the subtitles to cut into those characters speaking into English, back to Japanese, back to English.
It was
back to English.
confusing a little bit, yeah.
Not that it was confusing; it was just kind of jumbled.
I think
jumbled. It caused some audio issues.
Definitely, not hard to follow, but just like kind of like dumb to follow. Like it was just why.
And I mean, like the movie was beautifully shot, but the pacing of this was very, very slow. Especially the second half. After he gets captured, and like it gets really literal and heavy-handed in some parts, such as them painting a picture, pretty much, and you do see it in front of his own eyes with Andrew Garfield's priest. They're making his journey seem like that of Jesus in several areas.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Especially
to the point where it's like, hey, get it? This is Jesus right here. You get it? This is like a struggle that Jesus had. You get it? I'm like, yeah, no shit, I get it.
This obviously is not spoiler free.
No, it is.
We're gonna
spoiling everything.
Yeah, like the part where he's like looking at himself in the water, and he sees like a prophet, and then it
turns back.
Yeah, and then the friend who would never leave him alone. I forget his name, something Japanese. You could look it up, but
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, but he betrayed him for silver, and they're like, Kichijiro. That guy kept coming back looking for repentance.
Well, see, he was kind of like both Judas and Peter, because Peter denied Jesus 3 times, and Judas betrayed him.
That is true.
But even that guy, at one point, it seemed like he was just turning into comic relief. Even though what he was doing was even though he was having a serious struggle within himself, it just became comedic.
Yeah,
it was funny.
There was never a resolution to his struggle. Like he just kept falling and failing. It's like
he's an addict.
Like, all right, if you're gonna fall and fail, then get the fuck out of here. Or if you're gonna redeem yourself, then you better come back. It's just. It was like beating a dead horse.
Yeah, like you can say, he was addicted.
Point, like Andrew Garfield's character, Father Rodriguez goes, "Is this guy worthy of like my forgiveness? Is this worthy of my time or anything? Like if he keeps doing this, he's like pathetic." He called him, which he was.
Yeah.
But it just, it got to a point where it was comedic.
That was one of the parts
I understand.
I didn't appreciate.
I understand where they were coming from, though. It was more, even though it got like annoying how many times he just betrayed
Showed
them.
up.
Yeah, like, or betrayed him and showed up. It was more just to test Andrew Garfield. It was just another way
Another
for him.
obstacle,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
another obstacle. But it's like, if you're, I'm fine. Like that's cool. Like, give him obstacles. Like, if the movie's gonna focus on Andrew Garfield, but it's like you couldn't think of anything different besides this one guy.
using the same thing from
Yeah.
how many times throughout the movie.
Yeah, I just, one of the, you mentioned before how like Andrew Garfield would talk to himself. That was one of the things that I really liked about the movie, how like his inner voice was talking to himself, you know what I mean? And like, because, everybody has those moments where they think to themselves, and you have that inner voice inside you telling you what you're thinking about or what you should be doing in certain situations. And you really couldn't pinpoint a perfect example other than that, him talking to himself, like testing himself with God and his faith, his religion, and everything. It was just, I thought that was fantastic. I felt the emotions with him, and that was honestly
That's where he's shown the best.
That is the best part of the movie. Just seeing his conflict the entire time, his pain, his everything. Like
Seeing Andrew Garfield act.
Yeah,
he did a fantastic
we go back
job, man.
to the point where Adam Driver's character, Father Francisco, died saving that woman, or trying to save that woman.
Mm-hmm.
The interpreter, who I thought was way more intimidating and would have been a better actual villain, quote unquote, than the Inquisitor or the Executioner, whatever, said, "Oh yeah, we told him that you apostatized, like you denounced your faith. I would have wanted to have seen Adam Driver's character's reaction to it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Like I think that would have been something like really strong to add to the movie.
Yeah, except for like he technically died for nothing. You know?
even if
Well,
you don't,
he died trying to save
Well,
somebody.
I know what he tried.
even if you
to
don't
do,
show
yeah.
him getting captured, and like it's pretty much the same thing they had, and they see him walking up, but they told him there,
Yeah.
and then that's why he sees Andrew Garfield's character across the way, and then
And
that's the
but dressed very nicely, and he could have been
Exactly.
like, okay, so I see, it's true, like
Exactly.
without any
having that scene and then cutting out some of the prison part, I think would have been even better.
yeah.
But they didn't want to put Andrew Driver in it as much as
That was a very strong scene too. Adam Driver going out there in the ocean trying to save
I
the
think that's
people.
probably one of Garfield's best acting scenes.
Well, on both ends.
And
Like
they
I
both
thought,
showed
I thought
that,
Adam
yeah.
Driver like screaming and shouting and
like-
same with Andrew Garfield.
He actually took action to try and save somebody's life, physical action. And
Yeah, that was cool.
Andrew Garfield kind of didn't really.
I mean, there was like what 7 or 8
dudes, yeah.
guys trying holding him back.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm talking about like throughout the rest of it. He's just like, don't do it, don't do it. He didn't
Yeah.
run to stop anything,
That's true.
even though when he was in the cage. But like when they were hanging, he didn't do anything about
Well,
that.
then that's also that to bring that up is like also saying like how we didn't really know much about Adam Driver, how like he was probably more passionate and true to his beliefs and like between like right and wrong. Like how you said Andrew Garfield said tremble like when it comes
Yeah,
to
step
like
on the
yeah
face of
exactly
Jesus.
yeah, just give in, like show your pain, blah blah blah, that stuff. And you see that Adam Driver is clearly stronger than that, and but then
Well,
at the
that
same
and
time
that and he's more stricter to
his beliefs, he's
to the
firm.
religion.
He was more firm
and
with
he thinks
that,
that you should never, in any circumstance, denounce your faith.
and
then throughout the movie, it's really like a struggle of, is he going to denounce his faith? Is he not?
exactly, and with the whole Jesus thing, bringing up with Andrew Garfield, that's where you see a lot of that with
Yeah.
him. It's like, oh, I'll take this pain upon me, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
all that stuff, and yeah.
Well, Adam Driver's character, Father Francisco, before he runs out and swims into the water, he goes, "No, take me instead. Take me
Yeah,
instead."
that's true.
And then he just does it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, like, it brings up a point. The general did say this at one point, or it was Liam Neeson or something. He goes, who really, who is a better or worse follower of Jesus? The ones that refuse to denounce his name and stake that, and by refusing to denounce his name and let others suffer as a result, are they a better Christian for not denying his name, or the ones who deny his name to save others' lives, even though it's just in the act of saving others' lives, like God will know whether would God rather you deny his name and Jesus' name to save others, or would he rather you not deny it at all, no matter what the risk was to other people? Which makes you a better martyr, which makes you a better Christian, which is brought up in like
Right.
something that Garfield clearly struggles with, and then at the end, that's ultimately what he decides to do, which is what Liam Neeson's character did. He decided that it would be more of a Christian thing for him to denounce his faith in front of those people, in front of like the Inquisitor and Executioner and everything, in order to save those other people's lives.
Speaking of screen time too, were you guys everybody here, were you satisfied with his screen time? I thought that was appropriate, for the most part.
I feel like,
would you like to see him more?
when we were going in, we said we don't want this to be so much about Liam Neeson because we
Right.
wanted to see the struggle between Andrew Garfield and then Adam Driver's characters. And you know what? Once Adam Driver's character was on screen for so little, I was like, okay, maybe we'll get more Liam Neeson instead and see what his struggle was like. Because we only get like a quick recap of what his struggle was like before he made the ultimate decision.
Yeah. So basically, it's like this movie is
You're
starring
going to take away
Andrew-
too much
Yeah.
of one character,
Right.
add in a little bit more of the other to balance it out.
Yeah, this was like starring Andrew Garfield featuring like, Liam
Driver
Neeson,
and Liam
Adam.
Neeson.
Yeah, like barely,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
The way they advertise the movie, though, you think there's an even amount of screen time, or at least somewhat an even amount of screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think that Andrew Garfield was the main character going into the movie.
I didn't think so either.
I thought him and Adam Driver pretty much both main characters.
Like
Yeah.
co-leads
Yeah, exactly.
the entire time.
And
I
then-
thought the movie would have benefited from having two co-leads.
I agree, but then when I started sitting there and I realized that they're showing Andrew Garfield more and more and more and more, I'm like, oh wait, maybe he's the lead. And then, sure enough, they only show Andrew Garfield. I'm like, all right, so
That's where the movie is the strongest when they're
together.
When they're together. And again, I really like the movie, and like I know we're kind of focusing on the negatives here, but I still recommend to go see it in theaters. But the movie is strongest when they're both together, and because when he's by himself, it's interesting, but I can't help but wonder like what would have happened if they were working with each other there.
I'd more intrigued to have seen what if they got to that point together, would have been like. And I also wanted to see Adam Driver's side of the things. Like,
Exactly.
I would have been more interested in that.
I was emotionally invested in both of them when they arrived, what they were going through, and it's just like the movie lost its focus for me at the point where it was like, all right, you're gonna get rid of one of the fathers to focus on just one. That's fine, but then the movie should have clearly had that aspect, not an hour and like 10 or 15 minutes into the movie, where I'm like, wait. And when Adam Driver dies, essentially to try to so that way he can be taken and the other people aren't dying, like he's not even, you can barely hear him. Like you know what he's saying. He's saying, "Stop, take me," but he's like far away on the beach, and the camera is still focused on Andrew Garfield and his character, and what he's feeling watching his friend, his fellow priest die. And then finally, when you see Father Guerrera die, I keep saying Guerrera. Garupe, yeah. Father Garupe pass away. His face is in the water.
yeah.
And like you don't really like Adam Driver didn't get that scene where he like that awesome death scene or like
Or that one big emotional scene.
yeah, where it's like
Just for him.
and like that's fine. That's not a big deal. But then why did you build him up as a main character for like an hour?
Because of the success of Force Awakens.
I guess so. I don't know. That's at that point again, and not that the rest of the movie was bad. It dragged, but Andrew Garfield was able to carry it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Andrew Garfield.
If it wasn't
honestly.
for him, it wouldn't have been that good.
Yeah. I agree.
Because he kept things interesting. He really did.
Yeah, he carried that second half. He literally carried that second half of that movie.
Yeah, he did. I 100% agree.
So do you think, is there any locks of nominees for Oscars? Like any lock?
All right, so
I mean, not winning, just a
Yeah.
lock for a nominee.
All right, so I think there's gonna be two nominations definitely for this film, or three nominations for this film. One's gonna be cinematography.
I was gonna say.
One's gonna be best director Martin Scorsese, and the other one's gonna be best actor Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he deserves it.
I think
yes.
He those are gonna.
deserves a nomination.
Will he
be it.
win? Probably not.
Well,
but he will.
You don't know though.
Will this movie be nominated for best picture? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it probably will, just because they're like,
There's so much going on.
because
yeah.
the Academy loves historical and
yeah,
you know.
and like
Scorsese.
I literally just read a tweet by Leonard Maltin saying like how he was sucked into this into this. I'll read it for you right now. It's I'll pull up his page. So this is what Leonard Maltin had to say in 140 characters. As soon as it loads up, because I retweeted it. Here we go. Silence transported me to another time and place. It is the work of a master. So that's a little
Scorsese.
less than 140 characters, but so right away from that tweet, he loved the movie, and then according to Wikipedia, which is not always a reliable source, but the American Film Institute selected it as one of the top 10 movies of the year. So I think it probably could be nominated for Best Picture. It's hard for me to see because even though I really enjoyed the movie, it's not one of the top 10 of the year, at least in my book. And
I definitely
Agree.
don't think so.
yeah, and it's not even one of Scorsese's top 10 movies for me. Mm-hmm. Again, he's a
can see those
master.
three- I can see those three nominees,
honestly,
though.
I was disappointed by this movie.
I wasn't.
You know.
It wasn't bad, but it was only okay. I was let down.
Were you Connor after Suicide Squad disappointed, or were you
No, that's anger.
Yeah,
this I'm just disappointed.
you were just like
I was
like
just
I could have watched Netflix maybe.
This I was like, man, you know, like
I could have not seen this in theaters, but
Yeah.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I think it's
Preference?
okay. I don't really have a desire to watch it again, not because it was bad, just because I don't want to sit through 3 hours of a.
I never watch
movie to
movies
me.
twice, ever.
I watch a lot of movies over and over
Yeah.
again.
No. Like I won't go pay.
Oh
again
no,
to
I'm
go see
talking
it
about
twice.
once it's like on DVD or Netflix or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because I'm
I
not gonna-
still
wanna-
don't think I'd see this one twice.
I've
There's
just
a lot
would.
going on.
I would.
I would see it again. I don't think I would pay $15 to go see it again.
No, hell no.
I would probably go to like a matinee, just because like I do love watching strong performances. It's great, and like you, it's just like anything. You like seeing people do a good job.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. Like, and that's the power of advertising. Because like, here's this movie, Silence. Like, oh, limited theaters, limited this. Like, and everyone's thinking like, oh, this is gonna be good, you know. And then not that it wasn't good. It's just like, and then the way that the movie's trailer was portrayed, you're like,
and he's
oh,
been the story. Oh, he's been trying for 30-something years to get this. Like
Exactly.
you know, he's got it right
And then-
now, and then it's just like,
and then
oh,
there's like another one. Like, honestly, La La Land. I didn't know about La La Land before it even came out. Like, I heard that it was great after it came out, and I saw like a commercial, and even like I was like, doesn't look. And then I saw it, and I freaking loved it. And it's just like, there's like the difference between quality and like just like what good advertising does. You know what I mean? And I don't even think like La La Land like even really advertised their shit that well.
I
Like
never seen a trailer for it.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I didn't see a trailer for it until like it was successful. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah,
you know,
now you see it all
right.
the time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And like there's a difference between quality and good advertising.
La La Land is still my top movie.
That's my favorite movie of this year.
Yeah,
this past year,
2016.
I thought it was fantastic. And totally out of my realm because I really don't. I'm not a huge fan of musicals.
I
but
love musicals. I really
mean,
do.
I'm open to them now,
Yeah.
especially after that. You know what I mean? But this obviously isn't about La La Land. It's about Silence. But it's just like I could see. We all know La La Land will be nominated for Best Picture, but
I
like
think
But-
La La Land
get at
will
least-
win Best Picture.
If it's
9
not
or
nominated
10
for Best
nominations.
Picture, then that's
that's
upsetting.
yeah, that's a disgrace. No, but I could see this movie getting nominated for Best Picture because of what
it's not gonna win.
it won't win.
no,
it
definitely
won't
not.
win.
No, I'd be surprised. I think that
I don't want
the
it to
two
win.
favorites for Best Picture, Academy Award for Best Picture, are La La Land and Moonlight. And I would
Yeah.
say of the movies I've seen from last year, I'm almost done seeing like all the Oscar favorites. I would rank La La Land number 1 and Moonlight number 2 of last year. This is not in my top 10.
Yeah, and
Not mine either.
another one. I mean, you know, there's those few actors that like Andrew Garfield is honestly having an Oscar season right now with this movie, and he's in Hacksaw Ridge, which is
Yeah.
being talked up, and I haven't seen that.
I still have to see Hacksaw Ridge, and I have to see Moonlight.
And like I said, this movie, after seeing it, and I like from what I saw in the trailer of Hacksaw Ridge, I truly think like this is where Andrew Garfield's going to step up from, you know, that guy that played in Spider-Man 2, this is Andrew Garfield. He's going to be in a lot of movies coming up soon. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he's going to become Ryan Gosling.
I saw a lot of people, they weren't, like, this is how they described him for these last two movies. They saw Andrew Garfield, and I was, oh, yeah, that guy, he's all right. To, oh, now, Andrew Garfield, the guy's amazing.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a great
very
actor,
good
and
actor.
this
I
showed
thought he
it.
was really good.
And I think,
in,
you know,
Social Network too.
I
was.
forgot he was in that
Yeah,
too.
he was.
But a lot of people forget he's in it.
Yeah.
But I think he was the best part of this movie easily.
He was the
Oh,
movie.
100%.
But
He was
did
the
not
movie.
make up enough for what I
Yeah,
thought were
he was.
problems with
He
the
was.
movie.
He was the movie. I feel like if he didn't do such a great job, I probably would have been like, yeah, that kind of sucked. And another thing is like talking more about like the second half of the movie where you saw his struggle and then just kind of him just giving up. You know what I mean? In the end, and like talking about the movie again, Silence is like I saw this and I was talking to everybody on the way back here. How people will look at this as like from a religious. I think it's more of like I perceived it as like a conflict of belief within yourself. You know, like faith within the individual as opposed to the religion in itself. Because like, when you think about it, I mean, Connor, obviously you could shed some light on this, but like how the Japanese, they didn't not believe in religion. Like they had their own version of it, and they perceived the Son of God to be literally the sun, nature. You know what I mean? As opposed to what they believe, like Christians believe in.
Think of the one of the best lines in The Dark Knight is you have an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. So you have two different philosophies going at each other. So in the Gospels, Christ said, it's like spread the good news to every living creature. So you have Christian missionaries that are saying, all right, we have to tell everybody about Jesus. Like this is the hope. He's the light. He's the truth.
As disciples do.
And Andrew Garfield even says he's like, this is truth. Like I can't not say anything. So in his heart of hearts, he's like, I can't not say anything.
Right.
Like that's just that goes against everything he stands for. But now you have
Their perspective.
They have their perspective. They say, listen. A tree or a flower that grows in one side of the earth will not grow or prosper in another end. So he's saying like philosophies work in different areas of the world.
It's true.
And what I really like too is that like, you know, we live in an age where I can literally in 5 seconds I can talk to somebody from Japan if I knew. Well, I know Joe Griggs over there.
We're all connected.
We're all connected via the internet, but. The people weren't stupid back then. Like they understood geography and like they understood like there was different areas. They understood nature to a certain extent of saying like this won't grow in this environment. Like this is how this works. Like they had a basic, if not certain level of understanding of how things were. So they were learned and they were intelligent, people. But it was two different philosophies.
And that brings the argument. It's like as good of the intentions were of like the Christian disciples and priests that tried to preach their religion to these Japanese villagers and the people and so on and so forth. It's like you can't necessarily force faith down people's throats. You know what I mean? It's just like it's what you're what you choose to believe. But then again. That's also there's also conflict because it was an outlawed religion, so it's like because there were people that believed in it and other people were making them not, like it was against the law and so on and so forth. So it is conflict of law and religion too in a sense.
Also too, to give you a greater understanding, I don't know if they touch upon this in the movie. I don't think they do, but like a line or two. But the reason Christianity was outlawed is because they explain a little bit as in in Buddhism it's about bettering yourself, which is not wrong about that religion, but you have in Japan you have these leaders like the shogun and like the emperors and they're like wait,
the Inquisitor,
the Inquisitor's like no, sorry, this God is not more powerful than me.
Exactly.
So, and that's where the fear came from. I don't know if they touch upon that in the movie, but that's from history.
They mention it a little bit. They don't really say,
It's,
hey, this
they
is
were
why.
like, wait, hold on. Your Jesus is all knowing and all powerful. That's not true because I'm all knowing and all powerful. Like that was what the leaders thought.
Yeah.
So like they were trying to push like Buddhism. I think they were trying to use it as more of like a tool.
That's true. I can see that.
And nothing. I'm not like saying like nothing against Buddhists or anything like that. That was just what they were using as the object for the movie.
Kind of figured the audience would get that's why it's outlawed.
Yeah, I just wish they
like. I mean, yeah.
If you're gonna have like a 3-hour movie that
You have time to touch up on it.
Yeah.
It's just like but then it brings it back to like I said before, like conflict of belief and faith within the individual, because like throughout the entire movie, it's like, remember, like the villagers like, what should I do? You know what I mean? Like, how do I handle this situation? Like and they were asking the priest for guidance and so on and so forth, and
then even Andrew Garfield
even
like, shit,
questioned
what do I
it.
do?
Yeah, even he questioned his own faith multiple times. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think
How could you not in that situation though?
Oh, I understood. I
Yeah.
totally get it. But I'm just saying, like, I think, like, as someone, like, maybe, like, that questions, their faith, this I'm talking to people that are listening. Like, if you're questioning your faith and so on and so forth, or religion in general, this could be a good film to see, because it kind of, like, it's a realistic view on, like, how you can...
Yeah. Well, it also shows too back then that like a lot of people tend to think that everyone was religious back then.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the
because the
case.
church, because like
Controlled
governments,
everything,
the governments and churches and religions like work together.
Right.
Because if like the government saw it as like it's a way to like control people.
Right.
And also like from a faith perspective, it was a way to spread their faith and save people. But there were people that were like, no, that's bullshit, or no, that's absolutely true back then. Like depending on like what your view is. So like I don't know if there was like atheists back then, or if that was the word for it.
Probably not.
I don't think there was an actual word.
Who the
Yeah.
hell knows?
But there were people that were like, no, sorry, that's wrong. Like
like people that thought
yeah.
they were more powerful than religion itself. And I'm sure there were people like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know, but it definitely, the movie has it's definitely a good message, especially when it comes to believing in your faith and not giving up on your faith necessarily, like with Andrew Garfield throughout the entire friggin' movie, to the very end. Like even as much as I think, like as the end of the movie ended, where he was being burned after he died. Like,
Yeah.
Like obviously he lived out his entire life in Japan, never returned to, I guess, Spain or Portugal, wherever he came from, and Portugal, and never returned. Which honestly, when you think about it, like, I mean, granted, in the beginning he found purpose when he was helping people and stuff like that, but then he just gave up. Like, I don't think he probably, in that circumstance too, I don't think he could have left anyway. But I don't think they would have let him leave.
No, they wouldn't, because they had him under constant surveillance. Pretty much.
Yeah,
He
but
even has body on the surveillance when he died.
yeah, and I just think like how it ended though, it was cool because it kind of just like deep down, as even though he kind of gave up, and
He
like
still
just
had his belief.
he still had his deep down, he didn't probably express his belief, like he still believed deep down, and like he kept it to himself, and like his faith in Christianity and so on and so forth, and it was I mean, honestly, I was waiting for that to happen because I was going to say, they're going to really just show him being burned in a barrel. Like, that's going to be the end of the movie. And then the way that it ended and faded it out, I was like, that's definitely the way I would have expected something like that
Talking
to
about
happen.
how he carried out the rest of his life, even though he's not being overt about his faith, and he even told Kajiro that he couldn't hear his
best friend.
his confession again because he was no longer practicing. Liam Neeson's character did not stop believing in his faith. He just was not overt about it, and you could tell because there is a line when they're checking all the items that came through trade.
Yeah,
Liam Neeson goes something about faith in our Lord, and Andrew Garfield goes, "Did you just say our Lord?" He goes, "No, I didn't." But give him like a subtle nod.
And then when he had the painting or the picture, and then he's like, "Oh, this is not Christian." And
because he didn't move the thing.
Yeah, and it lifts it up because he knew it was under there.
Yeah, he knew that, and he still silently, playing on the name, was practicing his original faith of Christianity.
Yeah, it's a great observation.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely one of the better parts of the last movie. Just want to give a quick heads up on on the film. It's based off a novel.
Pushed by Sapphire.
The novel is the same name. It's by I'm gonna screw this name up. Shusaku Endo, and actually this is the second adaptation of the book. The first one is from 1971.
When's the second one from?
This is the second one. This is
You said the first one's from 1971. What's the second one? When was the second?
yeah. The silence.
Jesus, Damien.
No, I thought you meant the second. Never mind.
Damien,
Never mind.
do you have is your ears clogged tonight
No,
or
no,
something?
no.
I have Q-tip upstairs. Lame. Yeah, silence. But the first adaptation from 1971 is actually a Japanese film, and it starts off the same, but I believe it ends differently. I kind of want to check it out. It looks pretty neat. It can't be as long as the other one. It's not. It's only 2 hours. So.
Well, the 40 minutes that should have been cut out of this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Either way, I liked it. It was a good movie. Yeah. Not my favorite movie of the past year, but definitely a good movie.
Not my
So,
favorite Scorsese movie.
I think we should end it off right here. We're almost at an hour. So just give a final thought of the movie, guys, and also give us a score 1 through 10.
1 through 10. Okay, you first, Damien.
All right, I'll go
ahead.
first.
Ladies first.
So, like I said,
Can't make the same joke twice in a row.
I can.
You
and
know
it
he
works.
is. 'Cause
He
he's,
laughed
you know,
though. He laughed at it. He laughed at it. So shut up.
I knew it was coming.
Shut up,
That's
Pat. Shut up.
So
dude.
anyway.
Anyway.
But I liked the movie. I thought it was really, really good. Acting incredible, and not my favorite Scorsese movie by far. And like you said, not my favorite movie of the year. Like, I don't even think top 10. But I would still give it probably like a low 8, high 7.
Yeah.
That's my general opinion. Pat?
No, I'll let Justin go first. He's a guest.
All right.
Jesus, Pat.
Terrible.
Two out of
I truly think that it was a very powerful film, which is why I'm probably going to give it a solid 8. Because, again, the length of the movie was not my favorite part of it. And no disrespect to the movie, I often fall asleep in movies because those seats are so damn comfortable. It's like I always fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep in La La Land, though, just saying, which is why that's a 10 out of 10.
We also
But-
saw that earlier than 7:30, which is past
You
your
sure?
bedtime.
Yep.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're right.
Past
But
your bedtime.
either way, more it was a good movie. I truly believe that if Andrew Garfield does not get a nominee for lead role, I'll be disappointed because he deserves it. He was the movie. Disappointed that Adam Driver was not in it more, but the movie had a good message. It was filmed very well. It did definitely take you into another time period, which is why I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I definitely won't see it again though because it was too long. And yeah.
I would see that, like I said before, I would see a matinee of this. I wouldn't pay $15, but I'm gonna give it an 8. It's like for me, the pros far outweigh the cons.
Yeah, I agree.
But the cons are prevalent. It's a decent movie. It's not like I'm not upset that I paid for it. It's good. I'm telling you, a lot of it rests on Andrew Garfield though. Like why I enjoyed this movie. So. Props to you, man. I hope you get that at Best Actor nom.
Yeah, for real, Andrew Garfield.
I really hope so because he deserves it.
Like I said, I don't think he'll win.
I don't think he'll win.
But he deserves a nominee.
I think he definitely deserves a nominee. I think. Well, we're gonna do an Oscars podcast. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, good point.
Pat.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10, strictly because of how good Andrew Garfield was, and the first locations of the villages. Everything else, I think, was too disappointing. Like way too long. The cinematography was good, but not like it was great in certain parts, but in some scenes it kind of just rested there. So in some scenes it kind of just like it had. I don't know. Usually cinematography can make up for certain things, but while it was good, it wasn't great. And the disappointment of how little Adam Driver was in it, and the slowness of the movie, like. I can't give it higher than that because about an hour and a half into it, I just wanted it to end. So I give it a 6. Strictly on Andrew Garfield. But what do you guys think? If you obviously, I hope that you have seen it. If you listened this far,
We were looking at each other, like wondering who's going to say
'cause
something.
Let us know what you thought of the movie. Who's right? Who's wrong? What'd you think? Do you think that this is going to get nominated for any sort of Oscars? Did it have the 30-year hype that, did you feel that hype behind it? Did it live up to that hype? Because for me, it didn't. Even though I'm sure it's a big weight lifted off Scorsese's shoulders. Do you think that
he's
this
gotta
is
do it before he
his best
croaks.
or even in his top 10? Because none of us here think so. But yeah, let us know. And if you guys want a sticker, like I said, message us on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll get at you. We'll get you one. Or even mail you out one if you want to give us an address. We'll do it.
Yeah, but we won't give it to Damian because he'll just come to your house.
I have one already. So
No, the address, buddy. Come on. Keep up, dude.
Oh, shit.
Come on.
Wow, man.
All right.
Damien,
You're slow, man.
go back,
Timmy,
go back to
Are
school.
you even in the room right now, man?
Yeah, I know.
Where's Chris? Let's re-record and fucking place Damien.
Just dub me out.
There's no way you've been on 10 times. I doubt that.
No.
We'll count after this and we'll
Yeah.
make official.
If you can't come on
official
more than
rankings.
9.
Fuck off. 9 or 11.
That's
I mean,
great.
I mean, I've been on yet.
Really,
so.
dude, on the podcast?
What?
On the podcast?
What? I'm just saying.
Just don't say
All right,
anything.
let's end it there.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks.
Take it
Thanks.
easy.
Have a good one.